Hi everyone, so today I thought I would share with you my experience at the University of Leeds, where I just finished my undergraduate degree in Communication and Media, which is a Bachelor of Arts. So I graduated in 2020 during COVID and I'm currently doing my Masters at King's at the moment, but I thought I would share with you kind of my overall experience at Leeds for people maybe considering, going to university and not sure which uni to pick. So I've separated this video in kind of 5 different categories. So the first one is accommodation. The second one is, academic, whether that be kind of workload or support. The third thing I'm going to talk about is the campus and the facilities. Then I'm going to talk about everything social, so whether that be kind of like making friends, societies, that sort of thing. And then finish off with careers and jobs and employability. So hopefully that kind of gives you an overview. There's going to be stuff I'm not going to be able to cover because there's so much to talk about. So if there's anything else, just pop questions below. I'll either reply or make a separate video about it. So yeah, let's dive right in. So in terms of accommodation, I was at Mary Morris, which wasn't my chosen accommodation. I had, long story, but there was a mess up with my accommodation application, so I had to apply as a late applicant. So I ended up staying at this hall called Mary Morris, which was about a half an hour walk from campus, so one of the furthest away from campus, but it was great. I loved every minute of it. I'm not sure there's still halls now. I think what was good as well when I was there, it was a mix between kind of Beckett, which is the other uni, and Uni of Leeds, so you didn't just meet people who were from your uni. So in that accommodation I was in a hall with 5 other girls, we were 6, 2 bathrooms, but the rooms were really big. We had like 3/4 beds, washing machine, dishwasher, so the facilities in those halls were great, and I'm pretty sure it was subsidised because they were still doing work in it, but it was self-catered. So at university you often have the choice between catered and self-catered. You kind of have good things and bad things about each one. For me personally, self-catered was better because I already knew how to cook for myself, and I preferred doing that, and whereas some people maybe don't want to do that from year one, and I know there are benefits of catered accommodation where everyone comes together, whereas there is the drawback of some self-catered where if you don't get on that well with your flatmates or whatnot, you can sometimes be quite isolated. I didn't really have that at all. I really got on with my flatmates, not necessarily all of them, but there were other people in the halls as well, so that was great. The other thing, it was a bit further out from campus. So the way Leeds works is you've got our main campus, which is quite close to town. Quite a few halls are on campus or right next to campus, and then you've got some halls further away. Again, preference, I know most people will want to live on campus. It is more expensive, and those accommodations aren't always necessarily the most fun. So definitely look around on open days, try and see as many accommodations as possible, but a lot of the time it is really hit and miss of who you end up living with. You can get very lucky or you can get very unlucky. My biggest recommendation would be don't limit yourself to your flat. Halls are massive, there's definitely going to be people within your proximity in your building that you're going to get on with, so really make the effort during Freshers Week and whatnot to talk to as many different people as possible, because your flatmates won't necessarily be your best friends, and that's okay, because you could literally have people across the hallway. So in terms of academic work, I actually didn't do A-levels. I went to French school, so I did the French baccalaureate, which is very different to A-levels. It's a lot of work, very long hours. I was in from 8:30 till 6 p.m. most days by the end. So going to university, especially doing a Bachelor of Arts, where I only had 12 contact hours the first year, and it went down to about 6 in my final year, it was a big shift, and it takes a bit of adjusting, but for me I found it much easier in that respect. I know some people, again it depends on the course, some people find university much more challenging than A-levels, other people find it the other way around. So I think that really comes down to kind of what you did for your A-level or A-level equivalent, and also what you're studying for your degree. I mean, I can imagine if I'd done engineering or computer science, I might not have felt the same way, but because I had a good work ethic anyway in that respect, I didn't mind kind of sticking my head down and getting the work done, whereas I know that can be quite challenging for some people who are used to a lot of structure. Sorry, my camera just died, so bear with me if the angle is a little bit different. So in terms of lectures and tutorials, the way it worked for my degree, and I know it works for a lot of other degrees, is you've got your kind of weekly lectures and then the tutorials where you would have done some personal work and you get to kind of discuss things more in detail. So I much prefer tutorials, but obviously you need the lectures to kind of base off that. So I think for my course anyway, it was really interesting to to be able to debate things. People aren't always very enthusiastic and wanting to talk about readings, or just don't do them, so do bear that in mind as well, but I think that applies to every university. In terms of support, Leeds was really good, you know, especially in your first year. They really try and guide you, and they give you kind of, you know, peer mentoring sessions, or they help you with academic writing, which can be quite challenging in your first year when you're not used to that. Another tool that's really great is an app I actually just released a few months ago called UniMate, which helps you basically keep track of all your grades, know if you're targeting, say, a first or a 2-1, so all the details are down below, so definitely check that out if you are a uni student or if you are about to start uni, because I promise you it will be super, super handy. Now moving on to the campus and the facilities. So the Leeds campus is honestly gorgeous. So when I went to the open day, I kind of fell in love with both the city and the campus itself. It's huge, it's one of the biggest in the country, and the facilities are incredible. So whether that be kind of the gym, the union, where you've got loads of different restaurants, you've got, you know, your own little supermarket, a bank, all that sort of thing. It's 5-10 minute walk from town, so you've got access to everything from there as well. So the campus is really close. It is a really big campus as well, so it can take sometimes up to 15 minutes to walk from one end to the other. So again, do bear that in mind, especially in terms of accommodation and where your school/department will be, because you can be like, oh, I'm 2 minutes from campus, and it turns out you're actually 15 minutes from, or 20 minutes from your lectures. For anyone considering doing media or communication media or anything in the media school, the media facilities are incredible at Leeds as well. You have access to kind of all, you know, cameras, TV studios, radio studios, all that sort of thing, for free, where you just kind of rent it out, even for side projects. If you want to rent out a camera or whatever, you're completely insured and you don't have to pay anything. So media facilities are incredible as well. So I would definitely recommend Leeds if you're looking into studying media. So now in terms of the social side, kind of making friends, you know, societies, nights out. So the social scene in Leeds is really, really great. If you love clubbing, then definitely go to Leeds. But if you don't, you know, there's still stuff to do. So obviously you've got a variety of club nights as well. It's not just, you know, drum and bass or, you know, techno. You've really got something for everyone. But if you're not into that scene at all, then, you know, the food scene's incredible, and, you know, there's loads of other stuff like mini golf and bowling and cinema. So not everything has to be related to alcohol in that respect. In terms of societies, they have over 300 societies, I think. The union is always voted one of the best in the country, and I could really vouch by that. I worked at the Leeds University Union, and I was very much involved in a lot of different societies. I was on the committee for 2 societies, and then joined a variety of societies throughout my time at uni. But I definitely recommend, instead of just joining a society, join a committee of a society, because you get so much more out of that than just going to a few events and whatnot. I might do another video of that if you guys are interested, but definitely join a committee if you have the opportunity to. 100% recommend that. And then just about making friends in general, I was very fortunate in the sense that I was very close to the people I lived with / in my halls, and also had a really good group of friends on my course. So I know for a lot of people it tends to be one or the other. You tend to get on really well with people on your course, or you tend to have a group of friends from halls. So I would recommend, you know, just reaching out to as many people as possible in the first few weeks, because everyone's in the same boat, and, you know, people fall out as well. So do bear that in mind, especially when signing a house. Yeah, that can be for another time, but yeah, I was very fortunate in the sense of, yeah, I made a lot of friends that, you know, are still some of my best friends today. So definitely just put yourself out there and try and meet as many people as possible. Societies is also a great way to meet people, so don't feel disheartened if you don't get on with people on your course and you don't get on with people you live with, because yeah, societies is a great place to meet people, especially people who share the same interests as you. For sports societies, just a brief mention as well, I personally didn't join any sports societies, but I know a few people that have, and they tend to be, you know, kind of the closest in terms of friendships, because obviously you train together, you go out together. I do bear in mind that a lot of the time they are very drink focused and drink heavy, so if that's not your thing, then I wouldn't always recommend joining the sports society for your chosen sports. So again, something to bear in mind. So lastly, I thought I would just talk about, you know, careers and jobs. So I know my department, we're very focused on kind of making sure you got the best opportunities job-wise, whether that be once you graduate or doing placements or doing internships. I did my placement year at Apple in the advertising team, and my department really helped me kind of, you know, set up my whole application. They had like a mentoring program around getting a placement. So They're really good if you want to go down that route. I also managed to get an internship while I was there through a careers day. So yeah, there's a lot going on in that respect, but it's very much, what you put in is what you get out, which I think can be said for a lot of things at university. So yeah, if you're interested in doing a placement year, going to Leeds is great, the Careers Centre is great, and your department really helps you. Mine did anyway. Also, in relation to jobs, so I worked throughout my time at university. I always had a part-time job. I started at the Leeds United Football Club, which was not an ideal job at all, but then I worked at my union, which I could not recommend more. I've made some of my closest friends through work in the union, and they really understand students, so not only is it a great place to make friends, but they really work around kind of your timetable and exams and all that sort of thing. And there's so many jobs going all the time. They can be quite competitive. It might take a few applications before you get it, but 100% persevere, because working for the union, and I'm not just saying that because I worked there for about 3 years, is honestly amazing. So on that note, part-time work is completely feasible. I knew, again, I didn't have that many contact hours, but I knew medics, people who did engineering, people on all courses that had and managed to maintain a part-time job alongside their degree. A lot of time it's just, you need to be good at time management, but I'd 100% recommend it, because you meet a lot of people, and it's good to have a bit of spare money as well, because even though uni in Leeds up north can be quite cheap, if you're from the south, it can get quite expensive. So just to finish off, maybe on a general overview, I absolutely loved my time at the University of Leeds, both what I studied academically, but also all the friends I made and the experience and everything I was able to do during that time. So I would definitely recommend it to everyone. The media school is incredible, they really help you, and there's so many opportunities to go in so many other different directions once you graduate. And they help you even after you graduate, so even now I still get emails from them. I'm working quite closely with the Entrepreneurship Institute at Leeds still, so that's definitely a great thing about the university as well. If you're from down south as well, going to university in Leeds is much cheaper. Doing my masters in London, I've realised the price difference, although with COVID happening, it's not like I'm spending that much money. But yeah, it is much cheaper. It's, it's got the campus feel. You're a 10-minute walk from basically everyone, 20 minutes, it depends. But you're really close to everyone. It's very much a university city. So you've got, Beckett, the Arts College, you've got a few universities very close by. So the city is buzzing and always filled with students. Obviously not right now because of the pandemic, but once this is all settled down, no doubt it will go back to how it was. So yeah, if you're considering going to Leeds, I would 100% recommend it. I know I had an incredible time, and I know so many other people that have as well. Obviously, Leeds isn't for everyone, the same way every university isn't for everyone, but yeah, if my experience sounds like something you'd be looking for, then 100% I would recommend applying or choosing it as your first choice. So yeah, that's kind of my experience. If you have any questions about anything, just comment down below. I'll be more than happy to reply, or if you have any ideas of things you want me to talk about next, whether that be my placement year, getting internships, part-time jobs, masters, that sort of thing, again, just let me know and I'll be sure to make that. Again, if you're a university student, definitely check out my app I recently released. I promise you it will be super helpful. And yeah, I hope you will have a lovely day.